You know,
Am I
that
this
was
way?
huge. I know.
All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Book Club. Totally getting echo. I know it's me because when I muted myself, I was fine. All right. I'm going to try to trudge through this. Today, we are going to be reviewing the movie James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service. We'll see how many of us are fans by the end of this book stream, movie stream. All right. So I don't even know. I'm so frazzled by the intros and the echo and all the things right now. So I'm completely out of sorts. Chat. Thank you, all two of you. Tracy and Tina McNeil. Welcome in. And for those that aren't chatting. And if you're watching the replay, make sure that you smash that like button, go back and no, don't go back because you're watching the replay now. I can only imagine what Tracy is sharing. Subscribe if you are new, if you like what you see, and leave a comment below and let us know. Have you watched the movie? What do you think of the movie? Have you read the book? What do you think of the book? This is the last episode for this book and / movie. We will be discussing future of book club and taking a week or two break and then coming back with something different. So let's see what Tracy is going to share. Are you going to read it? Or do you want me to?
This pirate train is coming. It's going to be a new look for the 90s. You're going to be the first pirate. But I don't want to be a pirate. I thought when I watched it, that's what I thought of.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
You have not seen the Seinfeld episode about the pirate puffy shirt?
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
Sorry. All right, we have some new people to welcome in. Brian Eisenhot. Good to see you, my friend. Happily ever Yaddy, my girl Yaddy, my girl Kelly. Good to see you guys. Annie Coog, as Kelly would say. All right, I'm getting major echo, and I know it's me, guys. So don't worry about it. I'll try to.
Are you sure it's you?
I don't hear it, but
you guys
I hear it.
I do.
Watch. I'll mute myself. You guys talk.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it on that one.
You didn't hear it? See, it's me.
Take the phone and throw it on the bed.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it the phone?
Might have been.
I think it was the phone. We'll see if that works. Okay.
Hey, Jeff and Ange. It's Ange because there's emojis. Hey, Ange.
Hi,
exactly.
Ange.
Did I miss someone else in the... No, I didn't. Okay. Just making sure I'll cut. No, the echo is still there, and my phone is over yonder. So...
Yeah, your phone wouldn't cause echo. It's just your
just,
speakers. So
it is what it is. All right, guys. We watched the movie. We have thoughts.
I cannot believe I spend money on this movie.
Twice I did. Can I tell you why? I bought it on YouTube because I wanted to create a video montage for the clips of the movie. But YouTube, any website that you go to that will let you usually download videos from YouTube will not let you do it if you have to pay for it.
No, because you have to pay for it.
Tina doesn't know these things. And Jason was like, my husband was like, how did you not know that?
That's why we couldn't watch it together yesterday, because it wouldn't work.
Yeah. So I bought it again on Amazon because I didn't have time to watch it on YouTube and had to go and...
Well, how much did it cost you on YouTube?
Again. On YouTube, it cost me $3.99. I think it was.
And it's $3.99. So you paid
$8.
to watch a horrible movie.
Well, and I could have bought it on Amazon for $1 and just owned the movie. But why do I want to own the movie?
I wouldn't want to own this movie.
And we're gonna find out why.
I already owned it, so.
Oh, we have a special guest joining us, Mr. Tim Bond.
What's up, Tim Bond?
Welcome in, Tim.
Now, Tim is the odd man out because he actually liked the movie after reading the book. I don't understand what happened there.
There were parts of it that I did. Tim, go ahead. You know what, Tim? We're gonna let you go first, Tim. I want to know your thoughts.
Are we already on the line? Are we live?
Oh yeah, we're live.
Okay, well I wasn't sure.
Well, you missed me dancing. I did a little bit of belly dancing.
Not again, Miss Dick Tracy dancing, a little belly dancing. I was getting questioned from the side, sorry, interrogated. No, I never liked this movie. This was always the Bond movie. I never wanted to care if I saw it. I've watched every Bond movie that ever was, and this one I put off, and I usually end up seeing bits and pieces of it, like maybe the end or somewhere in the middle, and I'd flip it to something else. But after I read the book, I wanted to see actually how it linked and what was different about it, because I knew there was differences right off the bat. And since I had never watched the whole movie, there were some things I didn't really understand when I did watch the end of it. So after I saw it and read the book, then it made more sense to me, even though it didn't follow the book directly. And so, I actually did like it better after I read the book. So it's probably still not my favorite Bond movie, but that's mostly because of the Bond character, not because of the movie itself. And if I never read the book, I wouldn't know any different.
The Bond actor.
Yeah, Lazenby.
Yeah.
Real quick, Amy, welcome in. Daniel does Infinity, welcome in. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here.
I mean, he was one and done, and I've thought about that, and I don't know if it was really that, or if it's because when I first became aware of Bond movies, somebody said, "Oh, you don't want to watch that one. That's got that guy that was only in one." Maybe that's why I never liked him. I don't know, but he was okay, just okay. I mean, if you were used to Sean Connery, he was a dud, and I guess that's. Sorry, guys, I just got home from swim therapy, and I'm putting something on my feet.
As long as you're just putting on clothes, we're happy, Tim.
Hey, I'm dressed from here up. That's all you need to know, Tracy. You don't see me up dancing around, though, do you?
Tim really liked the movie.
Well, I liked it better than I used to. Let's say that. Compared to what I've heard here today, griping, I think I probably liked it better than anybody. Because Tina has had a heck of a time just getting through it. Sounds like.
I don't want to talk about it, but I know I'm going to have to talk about it. So.
Okay. Yeah. Then can I ask a question? To everybody. I mean, what didn't you like? I mean, what was the worst part about it that you really didn't like after having read the book? Do you think? Okay, I got some socks on. At least my feet are warm. No other comments.
Dennis, welcome in. All right, go ahead. Someone tackle that because I don't have an answer.
So the things that we didn't like?
Well, I mean, it's most everybody has said they didn't really like watching it, and I'm curious at this point what parts you really didn't like about it, why it was so terrible. And I'm not saying it was a great Bond movie. That's not what I'm saying.
It's never, like, I've seen it multiple times. I was raised on James Bond, and I mean,
yeah,
and again, George Lazenby's never been my favorite, and he never will be. I think I put it in our chat that this is definitely a franchise film. This is the movie after Connery. They were trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
And I think it was definitely a franchise film. So I mean, you have to look at it as, okay, well, we're trying to continue the Bond saga. So we've got to make it exciting. We've got to make it outlandish. We've got to have the crazy villain. We've got to have, that kind of a thing. Whereas in the books, it's not necessarily that outlandish, and it was much more about the relationship in the book. It was much more about the the story and much less about, just the steps that make it happen, And so to me, it's a bad movie in a way because obviously it was made in '69, so the technology is not great. The editing was terrible. It's very, very long paced things that did not need to necessarily be there that could have been other things put in. And that's why it's a bad movie to me.
Well,
It has all the points from the book. Yes, they changed things, but it has all the points. So
Wait a minute. I might disagree a tiny bit. So I'm jumping ahead a little bit. The one biggest thing that I disliked. Okay, the two biggest things. Well, go ahead, keep going, Russ. I'll come back to my point.
no, I'm done.
Well, here's my thing. And I understand that they had to change certain aspects of the movie because, listen, nobody could do a shot for shot for a book. I mean, we've seen it with Lord of the Rings. We've seen it with The Hobbit. We've seen all this other stuff. You can't do a shot and shot of the book and make it 100%.
No.
Between how, what you have to pay your characters, how many characters in there, some will probably roll together. I think there was some unnecessary cuts to this movie compared to the book. I mean, the lawyer was never really involved in the book at all. Like, that's not how he figured that out. They gave that lawyer thing just to give Bond that whole secret agent. I could walk through and do whatever I want. Maybe, I guess people left all kinds of things open and unlocked all the time. To me, I thought taking away the how he was introduced to the coat of arms and how that kind of setup worked. It went from, his future father-in-law telling, what's his name there, Draco telling him this is where he is, and then him going through the coat of arms and doing all that's kind of like setting up all that backstory. We cut out a lot of that backstory, what's going on with the coat of arms, and I think the unnecessary changes that they needed to. I thought after reading the book and then watching the movie, just Bond having a partner in Switzerland, I thought having the guy getting caught and trying to give up Bond would have played more to the suspense of than what we've seen in the movie. I mean, do you guys kind of agree? That's the one thing that kind of irked me the most was how they treated how Bond was outed. And then I guess we're all going to get to it, so I'll probably be the first one. Blofeld don't know who Bond is. Yeah. And to say who Bond was before he, in the book, he got away. He got away as an unknown person. And I understand where they're coming from, and that's exactly what Russ said. It's a franchise film. They threw it in there to amp the stress level or the suspense, but I thought the other way they handled it in the book was a better suspenseful way. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, because I was confused because my husband and I watched it on Sunday, and I guess he had seen it like years ago, but he didn't remember everything, and he didn't read the book. And I said, I don't think Blofeld knew him. I don't know if I'm like, because sometimes like things would happen and I'm like, I don't know if I'm just confused or if I didn't, maybe like I forgot what the book said. But no, it definitely was confusing. And I think for me, I just don't know if it's just because it's an old movie. It was a little bit lame in the way that the action was happening. I mean, besides the story being a little bit off, and I understand, you have to kind of do that. Not everything can be like exactly like the book, but I don't know if it was just because it was 1960s. Like I found it a little bit lame, so it was like sitting through it was just not fun, And then the way that they made the girls, like they just were like little kids or something that didn't understand anything. And I don't know if that was just a 1969 thing or it was a little bit annoying because in the book I felt like there was a little bit more character. Like she, what was it, Ruby, that was helping him a little bit. And here they were just silly. And I don't know if that's just I mean, in the book they were portrayed a little bit like that too, but I think visually to see it, my husband was looking at me like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know,
Your husband was probably looking at you watching the movie. He was like, I don't know if I should be watching this with her.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the father, like, slapping her, I was like,
dude. Not even just, I mean, like in the end where he just slugged his own kid.
yeah. I mean, I get he was trying to, like, and then he was like, oh, spare the rod, spoil the child. I was like, if that ever came out in a movie today, it would be completely not okay to have that. But I mean, not just for that. I just think I was, Sean Connery, obviously. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me in many senses. So, but I at least, I guess it's, you learn. And then I think my favorite thing was, I said to Joe, my husband, I said, do you notice, like, this sounds a little bit like The Incredibles at the end? He's like, yeah, it kind of does. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. So that was my favorite part, but yeah.
Well, I mean, when you're looking at that, The Incredibles did take that feel of that whole Bond franchise, that dum, 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 dum.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you that feel, the whole secret agent, but it's more, I think, more of a Roger Moore feel as far as The Incredibles compared to this one. This one here, at least Roger Moore had gadgets. I mean, I've said enough. Let Chris or Chris talk and just get aggravated.
I think you're just bitter.
I had more fun finding memes to post in the group last night.
Well, you did enjoy that, I'm sure. Go ahead, Chris.
I did not like this movie.
I did not like this movie.
There's a man that gets right to it.
I watch a lot of movies. I enjoy movies. This movie was terrible. I mean, this movie was Charles Barkley. This is terrible. Terrible. I'll say I don't mind George Lazenby. I looked at it like there's been multiple Bonds. I can deal with this. This isn't a problem with me. I didn't have any problem accepting him as Bond. The story was trashed in this movie. I mean, Blofeld was doing work in allergies, and Bond was trying to stop him, and that's about where the story stopped in comparison with the book.
Yeah.
I mean, they did have the hypnotic, the hypnotic state and all that other stuff. They did change it where it wasn't just all of England. He was trying to take on the world, which, you know.
The whole thing with the whole beginning of the book that really set up the book with Bond writing out this letter that he's going to quit, and then finding out that this is really where he needs to be. And then they trash it in the beginning of this one, and he goes in and Elm's like, well, you're off this case. And then he goes and makes the letter, and Moneypenny changes it to 2 weeks off instead of him quitting it. And let's not even start with the whole, she's driving a friggin' Mercury Cougar. I mean, come on now.
That the other day, I thought that was about the craziest thing. That might have been the craziest thing in the whole movie to me.
And then she's driving the Mercury Cougar in the snow, which makes even less sense.
Did you think of the Alan Jackson song? I'm going to buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road.
I've been thinking about a lot of Alan Jackson songs the past 2 days, but thanks, Tina, for that. But anyway,
Kelly for that.
I just
Kamakuchi.
And Tracy, you posted it yesterday. But the
which
whole
one?
Time
The Austin Powers one?
Austin Powers. The whole time he is at this chalet or whatever.
Welcome in, Zip.
It feels just like Austin Powers when they take him down into the little dungeon and there's icicles hanging off of everything. I'm just waiting for friggin' sharks with laser beams.
That would have been the at least the.
But and then Blowfield gets Tracy. I mean, how does
He's never had me. From? I don't know where you're getting this.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Tracy's in it much more than she is in the book.
Yes.
She becomes much more. She got more screen time than she does in the book.
And that's one of the things I couldn't figure out from having seen the parts of the movie before and not having read the book was I didn't remember that. I mean, obviously she didn't. She played a big role in the book, but it was not as. I don't know. It was different.
And
Chris just said. I mean, it was
really
or Tracy or whoever said it.
Russ, you're right. I could have edited that movie better than what they did.
Okay, Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that it was horrible editing.
Okay, I'm going to share something, but I'm going to add a disclaimer to this. I had nothing to do with this except for the fact that I'm pressing the share screen button for Tracy. This is Tracy's doing.
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
Okay.
What I remove? You removed it, and I clicked the wrong button.
I got shifted around. We got shifted around.
Okay, that's better. All right, I have notes. Do someone else want to go?
No, go ahead. Go with your notes.
I'm gonna grab my notes real quick.
Did she go somewhere?
Okay.
Oh, there she is.
Grabbed her notes.
The funny part is the actress that played Teresa, because I was just looking at the cast, and sometimes I just like to see, well, how old are these people now, or like what do they look like? And she actually passed away in September at 82.
Right.
And she was quite popular.
She played Emma Peel.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else in here is old enough to remember that show, but I used to watch that. The Avengers.
Isn't that the Avengers?
Yeah, and she played Emma Peel in the Avengers.
Well, when I saw the Avengers, I thought, because I love all of the Marvel stuff, and I'm like, wait.
No, this is a different Avengers.
Yeah, it's a whole different
This is before Marvel.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
this is a British. They had a British version of Avengers.
Yeah, the British. It was a spy type show.
Okay.
You guys mind if I eat a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. Just drinking, so why not?
So, I lost my voice, of course, and here are my notes. I stopped taking notes at a certain point because I was like, "There's just no point." So, the first. Okay, so the fight scene at the beginning. What was the point of the fight scene at the beginning? It had nothing to do with the story.
Well,
it did, didn't it? I mean,
they cut the whole boat scene out, and that's the way that they were able to bring the henchmen in.
Yeah, it's like they spliced it very poorly together. I don't know.
Well, and if you've seen any other Bond film, there's always an action scene at the beginning, and then you have the gun barrel. That's the introduction to the movies. So
okay, so I guess I can understand. Thank you.
And I listen. I think the line that he says at the end of that first fight scene was thrown in there, and I thought it was super corny.
Oh yeah, this never happens to the other guy. Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Slight derailment, real quick. My friend just came to drop something off, and I want to show these. And of course, my camera's not on autofocus, so I can't show you. She made me golden snitch earrings, and she brought me.
Oh, that's pretty.
You see the Mickeys?
Aw, that's nice.
So she's got a shop on Facebook. It's called From the Mimic, I think. So your local advertisement brought to you by Lizzie from the Mimic. Okay. So, all right. So the next thing I've written down, the bed on the balcony. Why? Why does there need to be a bed on a balcony? And what if it rains? Is it patio furniture or is it waterproof?
I thought that.
It's the sun deck. It's because there's a bed in the room too.
I know, but I've never seen a bed on a balcony.
You wouldn't want it to get wet.
You've never been to a French hotel.
I guess add it to my bucket list because holy cow, bet on the balcony. I'm game. All right, and so the next scene I have was the pool scene. I really loved the pool scene when it turned to night and you could see the reflection of the casino letters on the water. I thought that was absolutely.
See, I think that was just bad too.
Really?
Yes,
that's the one thing I liked. Oh,
because where during the daytime was the casino sign?
Right.
Well, above.
That annoyed me.
Okay, I guess I can understand that. But the other scene that I really liked was
I don't even remember that.
at the end. Oh gosh, it was at the beginning when he shows on the balcony, and then the transitions. But the other scene that I really loved, as a photographer, this really, really piqued my interest, and it was the scene when they're in the helicopter and they're going to Piz Gloria. And there's that beautiful sunset. I think that was the scene. It was like helicopters, coming in.
The second helicopters for the attack, or the first helicopter?
I think was it the first? No, because that was during daylight.
I think it was the second. Yeah, I think
it was the second where they were attacking. They had that gorgeous sunset. At least that's the scene I thought it was, because I know it wasn't the first scene. But yeah, the sunset was absolutely gorgeous. I live for sunsets. And then did anybody notice the wallpaper as he's walking down into the casino that night? The purple wallpaper, it looked like Haunted Mansion wallpaper.
Oh, now that you say that, yeah.
And that was cool. I thought that was cool. The casino scene I really enjoyed because it was exactly how I pictured it. And
does anybody know how you actually play that game?
What?
Bunko?
Bunko or back? Is it Bunko?
Banco?
Yes, Bunko or Banco. Yeah.
I've never figured that game out.
They actually explain it somewhat in the book.
Right.
Oh, I guess I skipped that part or something, but I didn't pick up on it. But I've always wanted. He plays that game pretty much in all the movies.
It's similar to poker, to where you make your bets, but you also can bet on other players. And so you play, if you think that, okay, well, this player is going to win, you can place your odds down either on yourself or other players.
You're not shooting for 21, though. It's just whoever ends up with the highest 3 cards, or
I can't remember exactly what it is, but
that's all right. I'll look it up. I never have whatever.
So.
Well, I mean, in the newer versions,
and that's not important. So
the newer versions they play Texas Hold'em.
Oh, that's a stupid game anyway.
Well, it's a more recognizable game.
That's why.
Yeah, but it's made up. I mean,
but Banco is a very popular European gambling game. So
I'm just going to say it. I like to play poker, but I like to play poker, not all these wild cards, things that a whole river shots down here and things down there. It just doesn't.
It's actually Texas Hold'em is actually a pretty easy game to understand. And the thing is, the biggest difference is you get more people to play at one time. And you have a better odds on your cards.
Hey Garrett, welcome in.
Okay.
Good to see you.
You also have somebody else new. Somebody named.
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
If I missed you in chat,
Jesse.
Oh, hey Jesse.
Yes, Jesse.
Hey,
Good to see you, Jesse.
Hey, I'm going to assume that's Garrett. I guess it could be Melissa, or Michelle. I mean,
it is. It does have an emoji. So.
No, Garrett does the emojis though. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to skip ahead. The last thing that I wanted to highlight, because I absolutely love this quote, was when Teresa shows up at Draco's birthday at the house and sees Bond, and she's like really bitter. And Draco says to Bond, "She likes you," and Bond says back to him, "You must give me the name of your Oculus." And I thought that was so funny. And that's really it. I mean, that's really all my notes. I don't like the fact that he slaps her at the beginning. I think that played more towards the Bond from the movies because we didn't get that in the book. Yeah. And I didn't like that at all. Because
you mean when he's trying to wake her up?
No, well, when she turns the gun on him.
Because
if you turned the gun on me, I'd probably smack you too.
Well, I know. I mean, but he took the gun from her, and I mean, I don't know, wasn't necessary. I mean, it wasn't in the book. That was my biggest issue.
Okay.
But the other thing was when he's at Peace Gloria and he's like with multiple women, he was really in the book only with Ruby, and it was for a specific purpose. It wasn't because he was trying to be a womanizer. In the movies, this is what I mean, where they make him out to be this womanizer, and there was no point for him to be with multiple women.
That's his character. That's what I'm saying. It's a franchise. That's part of the franchise.
Yeah, and I
thought he was trying to get information, though. I mean, he was still trying to get information from the girls, wasn't he?
But when they were playing curling, and he was like, "Oh, I'll see you at 8. I'll see you at 9."
Yeah.
I'll see you at 10.
Actually, the girls were the ones setting the times. It wasn't him.
Well, and in the book, go ahead.
I don't think he had messed with the other one, but he had said, and you at 10.
Okay.
And it, dude, I guess I'd be scared.
Well,
I'd probably want to knock myself out if I went into bed and seen Irma Bunt.
That was scary as anything. That also was not in the book. But when you're going in expecting to see Ruby and you get Irma Bunt, holy cow! Watch out!
Surprise.
I think that was actually because I have a sensitive startle. Like I get startled, even if my daughter's like all of a sudden I don't hear her and she's like, "Mom," and I'm like, that I got startled at that one because it was so like close to the camera and it was so like scary. Very bad editing. And that he got caught and it's like it's done.
Okay, Gene, I have to ask you a question about that. Do people like to sneak up behind you just once you jump? Because that's what happens to me too.
Sometimes my husband will do that, but now I tell him don't do that because it's real. It's only been in the last couple of years, and I'm like, but I did get jump startled several times in the movie, and I'm like, this is so lame. Why is that happening?
I had a friend of mine at work that used to love to sneak up behind me and just have me jump out of my chair or dump my coffee in my lap. He thought it was hilarious.
Oh gosh, yeah, I would have left. So, real quick, welcome in Arlene, my favorite booty call.
Whoa! What?
No. It's
an inside joke.
That's from the other night. I was there. Chris was there.
Yeah.
I was also disappointed a little bit in Draco. The fact that they didn't have kind of the more, I don't know, the more nefarious looking, he in the book he's much more secretive and he's very much more, hiding in the shadows, and in the film he's a construction magnate and has this opulent office, and yes, that scene is there. I like the character of Draco. I just wish they had made him much more nefarious, kind of, not because the henchmen are the ones that were the more, spooky looking or whatever, the more scary looking. But yeah. And then speaking of shock value, Tina, why don't you talk about Sir Hilly and the kilt?
Okay, so does he wear a kilt in the book to dinner?
He is. Sir Hilary is supposed to be Scottish, and so.
All right.
I mean, not that he's dressed up, so you would think that maybe he's wearing a kilt, but
right. Well, my favorite part of that whole thing was when Ruby takes the lipstick and writes on the inside of his leg her room number.
Yeah. Or how about when he goes into Ruby's room and she goes, "So it is true."
Oh
yeah.
Why?
Why what?
And then we can talk about the fact that they totally downplayed chapter 4.
Oh, come on, yeah.
They downplayed, I mean, the most important chapter of the whole stinking book with the one he's going to marry, but they upplayed all the other women like it was the biggest thing.
That's what I never understood was, and this is one reason why I never really liked the book or like the movie, was because like, he's going through all these women, and then all of a sudden he's getting married at the end.
Yeah, hey, welcome in.
It made sense to me,
Something else.
So the ending of the book of the movie doesn't fit to me.
Wait a minute.
It doesn't have as much shock value
as it does in the book. I'm not taking up for everything he does. But he hadn't asked her to marry him yet.
Right.
So they weren't engaged or anything at that point. I'm not taking up for what he did. That's
true.
wrong.
It's true.
But he hadn't. They weren't necessarily hooked up yet. They were. I mean,
Brian,
yeah,
you agree?
did all that stuff. So.
And then when he does, he was like,
credits.
And then when they're hiding out from Blowfield and they're in the barn, and he was like, "Oh, that's not what we should do before we get married. I'm going to turn over a New Year's resolution." And then hits the bed and they end up together. And he was like, "Well, it's not the new year yet."
That's right.
I mean, it just seemed very contrived compared to it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta share something real quick.
Is that the actual cut from when she jumped him in the? He thought it was Ruby.
That's Irma. But
now
I know who it is, but
now
I mean,
I get it.
Yeah.
I think it was Tim. That's the scariest. Forget all the action scenes and the suspense. That was the scariest part of the whole movie. I'm just traumatized after that. I mean,
well, we also didn't get the car scene with the bridge.
Yeah.
They just hid in the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they skied away. You know,
we didn't get the ending was not as spectacular as it is in the book.
No.
Right.
You know, it was the whole scene with him trying to escape on the cable car thing. Why in the world does that need to be a 5-minute sequence of him trying to climb this cable?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And making gloves out of his pockets.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but has everybody pulled the gloves out of their pockets and try to walk, put your hands across the cable? I don't think gloves from your pocket, the cloth from your pocket's going to do you any good, unless they had better cloth back then.
You don't have the right tailor.
That's what it is.
James. No.
Well, here we go. Just don't turn around, Tracy. We'll be okay.
That reminds me of a joke I heard once.
Was it a small joke?
He had something to do with rabbit ears. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Did Tracy just say, is that a small joke?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, James Bond Taylor might have made special pockets. I don't know.
All right, so I have an idea. Let's take the book out of it. If you had not read the book, would you have liked this movie? That's question.
What I was trying to ask earlier. I didn't do a good job of it.
Well, like I say, it's never been my favorite. I mean, it's always been my least favorite of all the Bond movies.
Yeah, well, it wasn't mine either. That's why I said after I read the book, some of it actually made a little bit more sense. Some of it didn't. I mean, obviously they left out a ton of stuff, and they could have done much better following. But I'm not read the other James Bond movie books. I'm sure they're probably all like that, or very similar anyway.
I will say, when I watched the first 15 minutes the first time before I actually finished the book, I was not a fan. When I watched the first 15 minutes today after reading the book, I actually really enjoyed it. And I thought, okay, maybe this is turning over a new leaf. I'm actually going to like the whole movie. But then I couldn't get certain scenes out of my head of how they originally were, and it ruined it for me. So I had a very hard time trying to watch the movie as a separate entity from the book. But if I could really think about it, yeah, I'd probably. I mean, I think I like it apart from the book. If it's just standalone movie by itself. But honestly, I can't get past Sean Connery. He's in my head. His movies were the best movies, and that's another thing that does it for me, where it's like George Lazenby is very handsome, don't get me wrong, but Sean Connery had that. George Lazenby was he seemed a little more immature to me than how Bond really should be. Sophisticated, debonair, more mature, more upscale, I guess. Maybe upscale. I don't know.
He was also older.
Well, yeah.
And he didn't have a lot of emotion on his face half the time. He seemed just flat, to me, anyways.
Well, remember, this is George Lazenby's first and pretty much only big movie. So I
was getting ready to ask you, Russ, if he was ever in anything else.
I mean, this was his debut.
Hi, Robin.
So
yeah. The Bond of the movie was Moonraker, not Moonmaker.
Yeah, Moonraker is my second least favorite. So.
Well,
I think
it's kind of
Brian.
out there.
Oh,
so to
I think
speak.
Brian's cracking a joke. Get it? Moon crack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I wasn't sure if you guys caught onto that. Dennis says, Tina, but the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. The wedding scene, they didn't have a big wedding scene like that.
No, they didn't have
in
a
the
big
book.
wedding scene. In
No,
the
they didn't. They didn't. They made that
high
entirely
props.
out of way more than. In fact, in the movie, I believe that's when I may have mentioned this the other day. That's when M and Greco kind of walked off together and talked about past experiences. That didn't come out of the book at all. I mean, I don't think it
No.
did anyway.
Well, he mentions the fact that in the book that Draco has worked with the British government.
Okay. Well, mate, yeah.
But not in any detail. It just and not that M knows him. It's just that's
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then you had.
Like, I didn't even know why Q was even in the movie.
There was no reason for
No.
Q to be in the movie.
Because of his radioactive lint, maybe that's.
Was he in the book? He wasn't in the book, was he? I don't remember
Well,
him in the
no,
book.
I mean,
I don't think so.
In the books, there's not a Q character. They do mention Q branch or the scientific branch.
Okay.
Because that's when he comes back to the office and they give him his passport. They're the ones that are working on that, and they're the ones that say, "Hey, you shouldn't be drinking." So,
I mean,
Gotcha.
I guess when you get to the Roger Moore era of James Bond in the movies, you get more of the gadgets and gadgetry.
yes.
The more campy. Like I remember when I was a kid and my parents were watching, or my father was watching Bond, it was more of the Roger Moore campy versions that I've seen.
Mhm.
So I remember that. So Sean Connery was my second Bond I was exposed to. Obviously, Sean Connery is Sean Connery, and you cannot beat Sean Connery.
Mhm.
But Roger Moore did a pretty good job. I always thought Pierce Brosnan was going to be, back when Remington Steele was on TV, I said that guy would make an awesome Bond. And, I guess from what I understand, with that actor, he had a problem with Remington Steele. They wouldn't let him out of his contract to play Bond. And that's why you got the other guy for 2 movies before Pierce Brosnan came in. So there was that was business, So, and not that Pierce Brosnan did a great job other than GoldenEye, which I have to say, out of all of the movies, I loved GoldenEye only because I played that game on a Nintendo 64 forever.
Was Timothy Dalton a James Bond, or am I thinking of something?
No, he played 2. He did 2 movies.
Yeah,
He's my
in two
second
movies.
favorite. Timothy Dalton was my second favorite.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, those 2 movies were a lot more violent than any of the other movies.
Yeah.
Because it was the 80s, it was the action packed, it was more it was meant to be a little bit more. I mean, that guy probably closer to the rated R version of any of the Bond movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you notice that this one was rated PG?
I didn't even notice that.
From 1969, it's rated PG.
And that would be a general rating right about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Or
Well, actually,
PG-13.
In the 60s, the rating scale was all completely different anyway.
Well, that's in 1969. We had it was released in 1969, so it was filmed in 68, 69. So you had free love going on in America. You also had the Vietnam War going on in America, and then
Adventures by D. Welcome in.
Then the end of 69, you ended up with the Manson family, and all of that stuff going on. So it was such a weird time in life.
Mhm. My parents came to America in 1963. So
I'm sorry. Say that again.
my parents came to America in 1963. So they were teenagers, early 20s. So
What's their home country?
they would tell me. I mean, they told me things that were, different and interesting. So
Where were they from, if we can ask?
Sicily.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
They were from Sicily. So we all know what's going on with Gina.
Yeah.
Don't pick on Gina.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean,
That's-
Tim had to
that's
worry
why
about
you're
his
here,
wife
Tracy.
taking a, doing the old misery to his legs. Now we just
That was your fault.
Hey,
And
Rhonda,
she read the
wait.
book and saw the movie, but she didn't think about it until you brought it up.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys.
All right.
Any other last thoughts before we start wrapping things up?
I think the ending was rushed, and
Yeah.
obviously, I think when I was watching it, I don't think they had the technology to do the skeleton, so that's why you ended up with the bobsleds.
No, that's possible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
They wouldn't have been able to do all the things they did on a skeleton that they were doing stunt wise on the bobsled.
But Blofeld was still able to drive while he was in traction at the end. So there's that.
Yeah. And so
Well, you got a point there, don't you? I didn't even think about that.
That annoyed me. Blofeld's driving and Bunt shooting, but Blofeld's sitting there like,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. So
But we don't know in the book exactly how that happened, do we?
in the book, you don't. It doesn't actually
mean, they don't
say
really-
who kills him.
Yeah.
that's
It's
right.
alluded
It's
to.
assumed. Yeah.
It's alluded to who killed him, but you
Of course,
don't
we
know.
don't- Yeah, but Blofeld also got away in the book, and as far as we know, he wasn't injured like he was in the movie.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then with the movie, you have a good idea of who killed Tracy. It was Blofeld and Irma
Yeah.
Bunt.
Mhm.
Where in the book, that Irma Bunt spotted James, and they tracked him that way. So it
True.
was
They didn't show any of
individual.
that. Yeah, they left all that out.
When you go into the movie, well, how did they know who James Bond was? Well, first off, in the movie, he knew who James Bond was up at the ski chalet,
Yeah.
and two, he has a huge wedding. How easy is it to take out who your number one enemy is if he's having a huge wedding?
Yeah. And as Russ pointed out earlier, or the other day, or sometime, that thought went plumb out of my mind. Oh,
The decorated car.
well, no, it was that was something else I was going to say.
Well, I think in the movie they
I'm going
implied
to come
that,
back around on the guitar in a minute.
I think they implied in the movie that the blonde-headed dude that was climbing the mountain told Blofeld who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were implying.
Oh, I know
That's
what
the
I'm
way he
gonna
found
say.
out.
But he should have known because, like you said, Russ, Thunderball had already happened.
But they
Yeah.
hadn't,
Especially in the book.
But they
they
hadn't-
haven't met.
In the books, they haven't met,
Oh,
and neither
well,
did they.
okay.
They didn't in the movie either. He was always off, and he was never found. They didn't know who he was and what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh no! In the movie, he met him several times at the pool, at his house, at
And
on
Thunderball,
board. Yeah, in Thunderball, he met him
I
at
was
the
thinking it was
house.
a different. I was thinking it was a different guy in Thunderball. There was another hint.
Oh,
another,
it was a different guy.
well,
Yeah,
but it wasn't
actor.
Blofeld. I don't think it was a different. I didn't think it was Blofeld.
Yeah.
So I was
I'll
thinking
have to
Blofeld was
think
the
about
one that was hiding off as Inspector
Because isn't it a different
with the
actor?
cat.
in
Well,
the
it
other
was a
movie?
different actor, but they did a different actor. I know there's a Blofeld later than Diamonds Are Forever, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
He was a Blofeld. Well, for that matter, Never Say Never Again was like son of Blofeld or something.
Well, Never Say Never Again was a remake of Thunderball.
Right, I know, but I mean, yeah. But anyway, it's a younger guy that played Blofeld in that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would have thought he would have known him from that. But you're right, he may not have. They did, if they never actually met. Like I said, I've not read that book, so I may have to go do that.
I mean, after this book, I kind of want to read all the books because you definitely get a different take on Bond books versus movies. You know.
I'm not buying all those movies either.
But
What was that,
Right.
Tracy?
I'm not watching all the Bond movies either.
Oh,
yeah,
I think I've seen them all except maybe the last one.
I don't know. All right, guys, we're coming up. We're closing on 4:00. We got Carlos coming on at 4:00. Disney World Freak. Myers and the Mouse is live right now. And I don't know who else. I think LBV TV might be either live or going live soon. Check out all the things. What do you guys have coming up? We'll start with Tim, and then we'll work our way up back towards me.
Yeah, I'll have coffee Saturday morning for a little while, and then I think Lynn and Josh are going to do coffee and contemplation, so I'll be on before them, and then I'll probably go over and watch them. So That's about all I've got going on right now.
Sweet. Gina, anything you want to promote?
Not right now. I mean, my daughter and I have been talking about something that I might want to do a YouTube channel with, and she said that she would help me do editing and music because she's really good at that. So I think pretty soon. So
cool. Chris, how about you? Anything you want to promote?
I'll be on Carlos in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I was going to drop the link. I don't see his link up here. I don't see his thumbnail.
Oh, he should be.
And I'll be on Wednesday Whateverness tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made a intro for this show, and there was a part that I edited out.
Yep. Is that it?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Russ, how about you?
Saturday.
There's something going on there.
Saturday, be doing a scavenger hunt from the Skyliner Resorts. So if you want to send in clues, send them either to Tina or to Chris, so that I can go and find those things. It has to be anything that, it can't be anything that I have to purchase. It can't be anything that I have to have a ticket to get to. But any of those resorts that are on the Skyliner line, or I can go over to Hollywood Studios and go to the gate. I can't go any further. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So
awesome.
And then Sunday at 3 is Nerd Talk for episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier on my channels.
On your channel this week?
Yes.
Yeah, he took my week, and instead of messing up the whole schedule, I just miss a week.
Hey Tina, before I forget, I'll be on with Shep probably Saturday night too.
Yeah, and I forgot something. I'm going to be. Lynn's invited me onto her show Thursday night, so I'll be on there at 10 o'clock.
Sweet, that's great. I love it. All right, Tracy, how about you?
Well, tomorrow I have Not Wasting Time. I haven't figured out my discussion, but I'll probably.
You mean Thursday?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
It can't be Friday yet? No.
Sorry.
On Thursday, it's Not Wasting Time. I'll be inviting my friends and see who shows up. And Friday at 4 o'clock so far, I think we're doing Family Pizza Night. I'm not sure exactly if it's on Diz Our Dream or mine or Kenzie's channel. One of those three. It's going to be Family Pizza Night. And then Sunday, again, Nerd Talk. And then Monday is Kenzie's 4:30 to 5:30.
Awesome. All right. Today's very busy, so what is up with my mic? Okay. I just did get word Carlos had to cancel the stream today. Not sure what's going on, but
hope everything's okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but so no Disney World Freak today. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock I'll be on with Zippity Doodad. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sorry for the echo.
Punch it, Zippy.
Punch it, Zippy. Punch it, Zippy. And then at 9 o'clock I'll be on with Gonzo from The Adventures of Gonzo with Chris from Addie Family Adventures. We're going to be talking our top 10 favorite Disney snacks. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, Whateverness, 80s. Throwback to the 80s. I'm super excited for it. So come hang out, all the things.
And no, I don't have enough hair to do a Jerry curl now.
Yeah, you should have waited to get your hair cut because I was excited for that. And then Thursday, my brain can't go beyond tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. But who hosted last night's karaoke? That's Gonzo. Gonzo does melody mixes on Monday night at 10:30. So if you missed it, go back and check it out because it was amazing. And that's about it. I mean, if I miss anything, I apologize. I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. And thank you guys so much for Francisco. Welcome in, Tracy.
Hello, Francisco. That's fun to see, Francisco. So, Tina, let me just interrupt. We're
Go for
not
it.
doing book club next week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So no book club next week,
Mhm.
and we're going to be discussing moving the time and the day of book club. But we'll discuss that privately. If you have a suggestion for our next book, please message me on Instagram, or leave a comment in the description in the on this video, and we'll add it to a wheel. I'll put them in a wheel. We'll go around and we'll spin the wheel, and that will determine what book gets picked. So, and it doesn't, okay, no, it does matter what book. We will be weeding out anything that is remotely like 50 Shades of Grey. So, not that type. Did I miss anything else? Tracy?
Why do you got to take my book out?
I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing the stream with us. Thanks to the amazing panel that we have here. Always a pleasure with you guys. Guys, go check all the things tonight. Live Place, www.liveplace.com for your family-friendly YouTube streams. Go over and check out the Live Place. And go over to Myers and the Mouse and say hey and show them some love. I hope you have a great day. Remember, think of a wonderful thought. Any merry little thought. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry.
And her phone's over on the other bed, so she can't turn it off.
No, that was
shoot.
my phone.
Huh?
Chris, where is it?
My phone was ringing.
There it is. That's all right. All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Dead sexy. Look at my sexy body.